Okay, so sometimes focus prayers like then read over. I did read over first. I recognize, measure, recognize that. She is laughing. Uh, okay, so now we go to the way of Bodhisattva. Dānggē dūjē shāyē rēsēn chōng yīngjē mēdē dējē pōngyōng bāsēr jē lēmbō tāwērē jībēk shāyē jārbē shāblā gē sānzē dōjē nyāngjē dēlō nārō dāng mārpā mēlā jījē gāmbō pā Pamo chupa jarwain di gong pe kaju lama nan lai sorwain de ro men ji je yin je po zhang ne te song san je gen je ngo nye ran sem chi ge ngong song dong ze pe za we lama sha lai sorwain de. Good morning, everyone. So now we're going to, I'm going to share the way of a Bodhisattva. So we have to cultivate bodhicitta before this listening teaching. And this way of a Bodhisattva followed by the where the bodhicitta, the excellent precious mind, where it is unborn made arise. So that is the first 3 chapter. Then bodhicitta, excellent precious mind, where it is born made no decline. So that's the chapter 4, 5, 6, third one. Then bodhicitta, excellent precious mind, it will increase higher and higher, chapter 7, 8, and 9. So we finish the bodhicitta precious is where is unborn made arise. Is we finish the first 3 chapter. Then we also finish the second 3 chapter, bodhicitta, excellent precious mind, increase higher and higher. No, it's bodhicitta is a precious mind. It is born, made, no decline. So with the second 3 chapters finished. So now we are in the bodhicitta, excellent precious mind. Is increasing higher and higher. So the last 3 chapter. Then last 3 chapter, we have enthusiasm and meditation. So we finish enthusiasm chapters. Today we are in the meditation chapter, chapter 8. So chapter 8 has 187 verses. 187 verses. So we are I think is 72 verses 72. Okay, so verses 72. The main point is in right now it's talking about the giving up, attachment to the worldly and the giving up attachment to relatives, friends, so then also this worldly, the desire thing is hard to create first. So second is the worldly desire object is causes of suffering. So that's the reason we have to abandon the worldly, this desire object. And also this worldly desire object result is many suffering, result is a suffering. So that's is like verses 71, verses 72, 3 all follow this, sharing the is this samsaric worldly we create, or this desire object result is a suffering. Verses 72, as a child I'm unable to increase my worth, and as a youth what can I do being unable to afford a wife? At the end of my life, when I have the word, being on old man, what good will sex be then? So actually, we just think about to cultivate how this our life is. Life is the actually not really meaningful in their essence, something useful. So firstly, when we are childhood, so we don't know how to do, and or it's like, and uh, everything is depending our parents. So then become like youth, become you are youthful, and at that time you just work so hard and create all this samsaric material worth and gains. But end of there is like old, and like this material gains also not really anything much benefit. So it's not really used for that much. So that's the reason Shantideva say really look to our the life situation. And actually every human being's life situation, no one has like perfect. So just we cultivate this word really understanding impermanent, and changing everything. Nothing is really like kind of a permanently source joy in their samsaric things. Uh, so we know, so like when we are childhood, or it's depending our parents, so we don't know how to do anything. Then think about like childhood, parents raising and send to school, almost like 20 years is go there where it's nothing meaningful there. After maybe going to get married or just get job, and then you 100% for pay attention, focus for job, taking care of family, and you create like kind of material gains, but end of there actually is nothing useful. Is That's why it's just life is like Shantideva said, no any meaningful in there. Uh, so that's we have to understanding, and the main point we have to give up this attached to the worldly activities. So in this kind of like verses, when you read, you have to understanding what you can have, you can have that, but means like you have can have a house, car, family, worth, what you have already has, you can have that, but then no longer attached to that object, because reason is always impermanent. Even you are so strongly fixation to that, that object is didn't going to stay long and benefit to you much. So main point, don't fixation too much object, or it's impermanent, it's changing. Then we go to verses 73. Some evil and last for people were themselves out by walking all day, and then they return home in the evening. Their exhausted bodies lay posted like corpses. So that's we know that like just usually everyone wake up early, go to work, and come back home is exhausted. and no any energy to do things, like just going to sleep and so tired. The next day you wake up again, so you have already recovered, and then go back to again. So this thing about whole week is like that. Every week is like that. So samsara is every day samsara, right? Every week is samsara. Every month is samsara. Every year is samsara. We recognize. Just think about samsara is not only whole life, not only just like whole like cyclic existence. Thinking about every week is a cyclic existence. Every day is we have that problem. So there's a whole worldly people think about so strong desire, so fixation to all this object. Then that's the reason working whole day, then come home is evening is so exhausted. That's we just know, so like long time ago and during the Shantideva and until right now it's nothing changed. That just same situation again because it's a desire. So we all have this problem, all these human beings. If we don't have these problems, this world is become peaceful and great world. Uh, so no need to fighting, right? No need to fight for power. No need to fighting for the gain material object. So all is the causes that create a problem is desire everything. So no satisfy. We human beings we never ever satisfy. So whatever like just situation no satisfy, material things no satisfy, power is no satisfy. So we know that and if you get 100,000 US dollars, so then you want 200,000, you get 200,000, 300,000, never satisfy, never ever satisfy. Firstly, you don't think about that. Or if I have 100,000 US dollars, so then I think it's always good life, I'm okay. But when you get that, then it's I have to keep that. So I need another 100,000 US dollar that I want to use. So other I have to keep saved. Then you get another 100,000 US dollar. Okay, so that's going to investment something. So I have another 100,000 US dollar. So then endless like that desires. Then end of the life is gone. So never satisfy. So we think about this. All the business people is hungry ghost, and just so much like put effort on the for material gain, whole life for that. Actually, serving is the material object. You know, so we don't recognize. People don't recognize what's going on, and also that people don't recognize what they has, what can have, and they can use stay like good way. Then all is a competition. That's the problem. So competition, then others have, so you also want that, then increasing all this, desire object. So we chasing desire object and we never satisfy, we never end suffering one day, then we just die exhaustedly die. They become our body's corpse. So that's the human beings does, right? We are intelligent, but we all just enter die. So just die for this desire object. So then what we get? Finally, nothing get anything benefit. Uh, so then of course like power, think about the power. So people just want to become leaders and first like you just community leader and you are satisfied. Then you get city mayor. Is you want a more governor. Long you get a governor, then you are going to get president or something. Then that never ever satisfy. So then just until die. That is like the power we recognize. So people never ever whatever get this samsaric, object, material gains, power is never satisfied. Then we go to verses 74. Some have the suffering of being disturbed with the tower and having to go a long way from home, although they long for the supposes they do not see them for years at a time. So then that's also a problem everyone has. So they're due to the job or due to something, they have to go to, transport sent to other country. They don't see their home years and years. And so used to like many business people go onto the road, take long way, years on the way to, the transportation things. So then the just life is finished, always on the road, whole life. Is no time to be with the family. Uh, so then even they wanted to be with the home and want to be with the family, but actually no any time to be with the family, no stay with the family, right? Then that is like think about a long journey, but no, right now also people don't have time to be with the family together. So that's why kids is sent to the, where is it they call, the name is like child sent to child care.
Daycare.
Daycare, yeah, they send it to daycare, and then just all is chasing by money, like follow the material object. So no time to be with the children, no time with be with the family, and so then also that's the reason so many problems. Family didn't get long together and divorced is like more higher number than before because due to these desires, you know. Uh, so that's we understand and we recognize all these problems we have. So Shantideva just giving us all its effect, what reality, what our problem we have, we doing. So we usually don't recognize that, and no, the main point we recognize that we have to fix our time, and so we have a life, we have to do something worldly things, but still, so you have to create something good way, meaningful life. Not all just wasting life followed by chasing by this or the material gains, desire object. Uh, then verses 75, and some who wish for benefit due to confusion, even sell themselves for the sake of a woman and the like, but not attaining what they wish. They are aimlessly driven by the winds of others' actions. Uh, so these verses, we just think about many different ways understanding. So someone wanted to benefit their own, they're selling things, selling out their own body, selling their own family, and some that culturally, like try to benefit each family. So their daughter or son is try to get married for other someone. Doesn't matter the husband that is great or not. Just wanted to power and wealth. So they said the daughter, for someone, and then of course like some people said the son to like that way, and then uh many like just different ways they try to get their own benefit, but actually they're really harming their own children. They don't think that, don't recognize. uh, so then some people just they say their own they sell their own bodies too, uh, because due to the confusion. So there's many people they're selling their blood, king necks, like kind of their own body selling for others. then why they sell for this own body for others? Because they want something benefit them. That's why they're selling this object. But they're harming our own, creators their own suffering. Uh, Even sell themselves for the sake of winning and the like, but not attaining what they wish. Actually, the result is not what they want. It's totally wrong direction. Want happiness, but it's create suffering. They are aimless, driven by the ways of others' actions. So then some serve by means you are become serving to others. So then the others 100% controlled. You don't have any power yourself. Actually, you want something benefit yourself, but the way you result or what you get is you lose your control, power, and freedoms. You don't have anything like freedom yourself. So someone already 100% controlled. And that's it's actually just depending different levels. Uh, long as you work for company, you already also said yourself already. Because the company has power to you don't have time to be with your family, right? We up there already talked. So you don't have time to take care of your kids. So actually you want something benefit yourself, but actually you 100% lost your control and freedoms. So that's also you have to understand many different ways, dependent. Then we go to verses 76. Some sell their own bodies and without any power are employed by others. Even where their wives give birth, their children fall at the fair of the trees and in lonely places. So some sell their own bodies, they just their own body means they don't have any freedoms. So 100% someone already controlled. And without any power are employed by others. So they don't have any their own power, nor any freedoms themselves. So then they cannot see their family, and they cannot help for the family anything. Even their family need them husband, but he is not there. Because he already controlled by some others already. Like example, like husband is went into the jail. So then that person is not there when the family need. The why that happening because there's some sell their own body means you just lose your freedom many different ways. Some really just become serving to others. You don't have a freedom yourself, and some 100% controlled. They don't let you go home to do whatever you want, so they have to serve them. Otherwise, they're going to get killed or something. Get big problems. And then some just see break the law and the rules. Actually, they want happy something, but the result is get suffering, right? And then the family cannot see them. So the children fall at the feet of trees and in lonely places means then long time ago. So if the family has wife has children, husband gets stuck somewhere, and then maybe no any other happens because there no homes, nothing. The child can falling into under the trees everywhere, can take birth. So that means anyway there no any protections family. Suffering. The child and the wife is suffering at the feet of trees and in lonely places. So then that's also dependent. So sometimes uh, mother can get lose their control power, and the father and the son suffering, son or daughter suffering. Sometimes the father is lose freedom, and then mother and the son, daughter, their family suffering. So all is dependent. Then we go to verses 77. Some fools who are deceived by desire, wishing for a livelihood, think, I should in my living as a soldier. Then, although afraid of losing their lives, they go to war. Others become slaves for the sake of a profit. So that's also like different kind of ways suffering people. Some force means like, and followed by the who are deceived by desire. So due to desire, there actually wanting is something good, wishing for a livelihood thing, great happiness for their own family. Then I share in my life as a soldiers. 1 minute, sorry, I get the phone calls. Some I share in my living as a soldiers. So they go to like the soldiers army, join there. Maybe they lose life in there, or some other enemies caught them. Then they put in the jail or prison, so tortured. They cannot come back home, and it's suffering become. Then, although afraid of losing their lives, so then also, they can be lose their life. They then also like maybe promise like, I do serve for you, become they are serving for others. So that many kind of ways like just individually get problems. Others become slaves, see, for the sake of a profit. So this just individually sometimes get problem this way, because actually the point is they really want something good things happening for their own family, but result is actually get suffering, destroy their own family's happiness. The why happening that because due to desire. If we so strong desire something and then no successful, get suffering, result is a suffering. That's always just a similar verses linked together. 78 verses 78. So some lust for people even cut their bodies. Others impair themselves on the points of sticks. Some stop themselves with daggers, and others burn themselves. Such things as these are quite apparent. So we can see these problems, is due to the emotion and anger. Some last for people even cut their bodies because of their fight due to the emotion and anger. And then they get cut the bodies. Other employ themselves so on the points of sticks. Some stop themselves with dangers. This all is like someone fighting with others, enemies. So they're actually wanting is something good things happening, desire, due to desire and the power. So that's what they want happening, good things. That's what reason they're fighting for others. Then the result is they just lose their own body. It's a suffering. and others burn themselves. Such things as these are quite apparent. So this all we can see, you know, suffering. Then many people just suicide themselves, you know, some killing their own, take own life. The reason is because due to emotion control. So no any, you know, kind of like understanding the situation, no wisdom. So 100% emotion controlled, lose their own power, own freedom. So then that gets result is a suffering, this kind of sufferings. So then we go to the verses 79. Due to the torment involved in collecting it, protecting and finally losing it, I should realize worth to be fight with infinite problems. Those who are distracted by their attachment to it have no opportunity to gain freedom from the misery of conditioned existence. So this verses is a very popular verses. So yesterday, yesterday I shared with you. You know, you can just write something, write down, and you know it's important verses you can collecting together in the. You create some, you know, in the footnotes. So this kind of like verses are very important. That's also actually hold this main point. So due to the torment involved in collecting it, so we recognize this. First, we try to get all these material gains so hard, whole life, put all effort for that. So then, secondly, protecting and finally losing it. So first we try to get all collecting these all material gains is whole 100% our life is lose our freedom. For that reason, it gets so much suffering, go through difficulty. Finally, the second, you know, we protecting that. We try to not lose that, only protecting. And then so much worry about that. So you get some, like, you know, material object, you get a power, something, then you protecting that, not going to try to lose that, then 24 hours of suffering. All the time get suffering. And finally losing it, then what happened finally, then just, it's all is impermanent. That's not permanent, it's losing, you know. Finally losing all your material gains, you losing your power. It's no choice because it's you know, this all is reality, you know, this samsara reality and the natural law of phenomena. So nothing is permanent and not always be the same exactly all the time what we wanting. So then think about this, or we material things, collecting it, suffering and protecting and finally losing. This whole life is full of these three things. Then also think about the power. First try to get power is so hard work. And then if you get that, you try to protecting that. And then you're going to lose anyway because it's impermanent. So your power is impermanent, your life is impermanent. So anyway, going to lost. Losing it. That's the reason I should release worth to be frightened with infinite problems. So that's why we have to understanding all this worldly material gains and the powers is actually causes of suffering. So if we don't know how to take care of this, our material things, we are serving in our material gain things, serving for the house, serving for your job. So you don't have any freedoms. That's the reason. So we have to recognize that, realize worth to be fright with infinite problems. Those who are distracted by their attachment to it have no opportunity to gain freedom from the misery of conditioned existence. So who has strong, distracted by their attachment to it? So who has strong attachment, desire to that matter and power? So then this person no any opportunity to gain freedom from themselves. That person is life is misery, suffering in samsara. So we recognize that, but people want happiness, but they're really creating causes of suffering all the time. So some people want the power. The power, the seat is a suffering chair. Like presidents, like governors, or whatever they have power, the chair, actually they're suffering in there. No any time to do something good things like themselves. But it's just desire, attachment. They don't let go of that. It's a desire, don't recognize their suffering. Because due to ignorance, self-grasping, they don't recognize they are suffering. Actually, they don't have any freedoms, have no opportunity to gain freedom from their misery of condition existence. Then they create the causes of suffering. So that person, no opportunity to liberation, get freedom. That person is, we can say, almost like 90% going to lower realms. So mostly can be going to the, it's a hungry ghost because it's so strong desire. Actually, this, the high official people who has power and who has strong, like, means like just who does like business, like worthy, and companies owners, they are, it's already hungry ghost, never satisfy themselves. So no any really joy, happy in there. It's too much extreme already. So that's the reason Buddha's teaching is, he said, don't go to two extremes. Take middle way path. So middle way path means like relatively middle way path, and of course absolute true middle way path. They always have, each situation has a middle way path. So middle way path means so many meanings in there. And you cannot fall into the poverty. You cannot too much, wealthy and desire following that directions. The either is a suffering. So we have to must free from two extremes. If you don't have enough these or material things for your support for your life, they also suffering. If you have too much, they also suffering. So you need like right amount, middle way, and then you recognize what you have that, and you know you have to know how to take care of that, and you use that correctly, right direction, and don't too much try to go to desire, try to get things. If you too following that direction, so you lose your freedom too. So then become causes of suffering. So we have to understand that, this section is really good to change our life. So the people in this world who has more suffering, who has the power, they has suffering. Who has so much material things, there has suffering. You know, then who are suffering, then is who don't have anything, like poverty, there has a suffering. So the what happened that another is too much desire, because that's why suffering. Another hand is because they don't know how to take care of their own, you know, and wanting something good, but then result is become bad. That actually that also causes of like result is a suffering, causes of desire, because they're first wanting something too much, and they end up nothing, you know. So that's why we have to understanding like how to take care ourselves and what we really need, not just one thing, right? So what we have, that use that correctly and stay just happy life, and take just go good life way, you know, good way. Okay, so then we go to the verses 80. In the same way as animals drawing carriages are only able to eat a few mouthfuls of grass, likewise, desirous people have many disadvantages, such as this and later perfect. Mm, So the main point is, if you have so strong desires, and then work so hard, but result is nothing much. You put too much effort, but what you get, actually your get is too small. Maybe it's not really benefit you anything. It's become causes of suffering, something like that, you know. So this is an example. In the same way as animals drawing carriages. So animals like drawing carriages are only able to eat a few mouthful of grasses. They're on the road, like maybe try to get, you know, grasses, because so hungry and strong fixation to that, you know, that get that, but then they have a dependent, you know, honor, you know, heat them, it's get suffering. Or you eat something grasses, and their inside there's, you know, mouth have something, because they don't want to eat these grasses, that's why they get suffering. But same is the fish, you know, because fish, we fish people put something and in throw in the water, so their fish so strong desire attached to that, but then the finally they lose their own life. So that kind of, you know, problems. Only able to eat a few mouthful of grasses. Likewise, desire people have many disadvantages, such as this and the later perfect. It's lots, uh, you know, the the bigger problem is, you know, the you work so hard is so big problem, but result is nothing. So much suffering there, you know, problems. Then 81, and since even animals can obtain this latter perfect, those who are pawned by their previous actions, why is these leisures and adornments so difficult to find for the sake of something trevor that is not so seekers? Uh, there's something, you know, like even these animals can do that. You you don't need to be human beings. So, but this who has, you know, uh, strong desire and say over something, you know, travel that is not so secure. So that kind of person actually wasting their uh, precious human body. So we have a precious human body, but we not really doing much better than animals. something like animal also can do that, not necessary to be human beings. Only if you can just get your food and clothes. So that's the reason you sacrifice so much your life, then you are not much better than animals. The reason is because the animal also actually they get their own food. And then where's your precious human body? Precious human body means you have to do something special and change future lives. If you cannot change future life, then you just only thinking about this life. So only you just get your maintaining your life, no any benefit other than that. So maybe you create more causes of suffering, then it's more worse than animals become. So that's what the Shantideva said. We have a precious human body. We have to do something great, more better than animals. So we have to think about whatever we do actions. We think, oh, this is like animal also can do. Not much difference. Then just don't focus that too much for that. Something like these animals not possible to do. What they cannot do, they cannot practice dharma actually, because animals not possible to practice dharma due to the ignorance. So you can talk to it like your horse, your dogs, or anyone telling them to meditate. They're not going to meditate. You can telling them chant the mantra, then no one going to chant mantra. So you're telling them you are liberated right now. If you chant this mantra, please sing with me. You're telling them they're not going to do that. So that means like animal life, no ability to do practice dharma. And you can help your animals because you can create something good conditions for them, causes of like happiness. Condition means like you can give them something, create the how to say, the connection. We usually say karmic imprints, something. So you can create for them that too, but you cannot really tell them to do something good things. They don't do. So that's the reason we have to log our situation. What are we doing? We're doing something same as animals does, or we're doing something better than them. So we're doing something same as animals does. We have to give up that and do something better than that. So otherwise, just we destroy ourselves actually. Nothing benefit ourselves. Not only destroy in this life, like destroy ourselves in many lifetimes. So now we go to 18.2. The object of desire will certainly perished, and then I shall fall into hellish states. But Buddhahood itself is attained with just one meaning of the difficulty. So we know all this worldly object is gone one day. It's certainly perish. So nothing is going to stay permanently. And then I shall fall into hellish states. So we only follow by this, desire, create or material object, and so much fixation to the object. The result is we falling into the lower realms. But Buddhahood itself is attained. Is not like that, Service attained with just one meaning of the difficulty. So if you do something, hardships, they have good result. Also bring the like permanent happiness, joy. So whatever you do something, hardship, difficulty, go through, that is all useful become. Nothing is like wasted. Then, like we already told, we are stuck in samsara. We take so much effort to create ourselves suffering, and so much we put sacrifice. So if you put like that sacrifice with something for liberation, no need to do much. Same is in the samsara. So samsara, like we sacrifice millions. If you do 100 times sacrifice for liberation, you can liberate. So now we go to the verses 83. So this is more explain about the verses 82, 83. Involving in continually exhausting myself for the sake of what is not very great. Hence, the desirous experience greater misery than those following the awakening way of life, but for them there is no awakening. So we see involved in continually exhausting myself for the sake of what is not very great. It's create causes of samsara. So we put so much effort for that. Hence, the desirous experience greater misery. So then those following the awakening way of life, if we follow the, put more effort like that in for liberation, then, but for them, there is no awakening. Easy to awakening, but so this worldly people so much put effort, create the like effort samsara, but not possible to Buddhahood. And the samsara is so much suffering, no any happiness benefit there. For them, there is no awakening. Then we go to verses 84. When having contemplated the misery over here, it will be clear that there is nothing comparable to the harm caused to desirous beings by warpings, poisons, fire, revenues, and force. So if we think about the harem suffering, then cannot comparing anything in this life, the difficulties. The harem suffering is like really strong and bigger than in this lifetime. Whatever suffering we have, that cannot comparing to anywhere the harem suffering. So even someone cut our body and you eat the poisons, or you get in the burn in your body in the fire, or you jump to the rivers, and so your enemies create difficulty you. That kind of difficulties, problems cannot comparing to the harem suffering. There's nothing comparable. So now we go to the third level. Is called recognize the samsara is a suffering, and this worldly activity is no use for actually, no much benefit, too much put effort, but result is a suffering. So now what we have to do, we have to think about all this solitary place. So we have to recognize solitary, retreat is joy and peace. And we have to recognize the quality of the solitary. Having in this way developed dissolution with desire, I should generate joy for solitude. The fortunate ones stroll in peaceful forest, devoid of disputes and disturbing conceptions. So we, give up this worldly desire attachment, and then we have to generate joyful solitude. Then solitude places the fortunate one store in peaceful forests. You have peaceful, you have joy, and devoid of disputes and disturbing conceptions, no emotions there, no desire going on something, no fighting with your, neighbors or your enemies, and you don't have to disagree like with your families. So you have all freedom and peaceful. So if you look in your freedom, you look in your peaceful, and then Shantideva said have to go to in the forest, solitude place. So 86, they who stay in the solitary place, they are enjoyed there. Their life is joyful, horses of wealth, flat stones, caught by the cinder sainted moonlight, fanned by the peaceful silent forest breeze, thinking of what is of benefit for others. So this is the, for meditator practitioners seeing this way. So they're really happy and joy in the ritu and ritu hearts, we call, like not much to do in there. So when you see there, and you don't need air condition, so naturally air condition coming there. Is our moon is nature air condition. Our sun is like nature, our heater. So using that, you don't have to pay the bills to, there's others. Then you don't have to go to work to, get money because you don't have to pay the bill. So life is become stay very easy and simple, but you have all these natural resources. It's no need to pay. You don't have to buy. So all this good condition you have, but you don't know how to use this. So then, uh, uh, house of west flat stones. See, you can just create like put in the stones and top there. Roof also you can put the stones, and then that actually helps you. The inside the house is warm and cold. Winter time is warm, summertime is cold. So all is whatever you wish is exactly comes like that. Nature has that power. So usually we don't use this nature. Then this place is like no noisy, silent, is peaceful, breathe. So thinking of what is of benefit for others. Then only you thinking about want benefit for others, cultivating bodhicitta for others. So your mind is become, Buddha. So you can mind generation, wanting benefit for others. Only you have that intention, then you can stay in there. You don't have to do anything. They develop for as long as they wish. So you can stay long as you can wish in empty houses, at the feet of trees, and in caves. This no one belong to this, caves and houses. So you can stay much ever you want, having abandoned the pain of clinging to and guarding possessions. So you don't have like difficult to, maintaining the house, taking care of the house, pay the bills. You don't have that kind of things problem. You don't have to do that anything. They abide in depending free of care. So then you're just independently, and you can stay there and practice yourself. You will have 100% freedom yourself. Uh, so if we need to fight with something, good things, have to fight for that, not the presidency to power, the kind of seat, fighting for that. That is like actually you really see the looking for suffering. Really looking for suffering. And if you fight for this kind of seats, then you're really looking for nirvana, peaceful joy. But actually this is easy to get, but we don't recognize. You don't have to pay anything, no need to cost. You can get, but due to ignorance, we don't recognize. Yeah, so then also our self-grasping, and we already used to in this material object, be with that. So hard to give up that, because it's due to desires. Is who don't have much desires, they can stay that way, it's easy. But no, our case, we have a desire, so we already habituate these material desires. That's the reason we think this kind of like, oh, empty house and the kids, not easy to go to stay there. The problem is we already habituate this material object, samsaric things, used to already, you know. If you, depending wherever you can go directions, like actually you can take that direction. See, so the, when you habituate like that, you can go that directions. The people, some people don't use any mattress, sleep on the wooden floor. They are joy, happy, the body is used to that. You don't need any mattress. So you put mattress, they cannot sleep. Yeah. And so some people don't put a pillow. That if you put pillows, they cannot sleep there. So that means like depending which way you used to. And something you used to in that directions, then become you already habituate. Nothing is a difficulty. But our case right now, we think about, oh, go to caves. Not possible. Because we attach to our comfort bed. We already used to, we have a soft bed, blankets, pillows. You don't want to give up this because you're already used to, right? Without that, you cannot sleep. So, see, other hand, if someone not used to that, with that, you cannot sleep. So that means like you can go either way, because it's like you can just create a habituate. It take time if you're going to giving up. Right now we already habituate all this comfort. So give up that is hard. But one day you used to other way, but then don't like this comfort too, become no comfort. Their comfort is like caves. Their comfort is empty house, peaceful forest. They don't like in the city and the noisy distractions. There are no comfort there. So our case is like ourselves stay in the forest, no comfort, lonely, and you and stay under this, like kind of a house. Is you fear you're sick, and you think, oh, I cannot stay here, and you're fair bad yourself, and then you're seeking for your this or comfort bed blankets. You're thinking about these things because we already used to that directions. Yeah. So you see this example, like homeless people, their perception and our thinking also a little bit different. They're also dependent, homeless people is dependent, no all the same situations, but some is very comfort for themselves. Some doesn't, but dependent, I know someone in my friend in India, so he give up all this material object and just try to be with like same is in this homeless people in these yogis, like they have something like that. He tried to do that way, go directions. He said first like 3 months is terrible, so shy, and the people looking to them, and it's like just everybody watching, and bodies, or it's like what is it like, there we used to always take showers, like clean up, but then you don't have this, it's like really hard. Then after like couple months after you stay under the trees, it's become like just same as in the stay house, nothing different. And then you don't shy the people, and just all it's like your life is normal. He says, so like you go that direction, it's become normal already. Then for them life change. So the someone that tested that way, this is he got result. He said it can be become normal for that direction life. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. So you used to that way, and it become your life is normal. And so if we can go that way, is habituate that direction, then you have 100% time to practice the Dharma, meditate, and then you really can stay with this way. Shantideva, whatever he says, like you can follow that way, and become you have a kind of like practicing Dharma in your mind. Then you don't get suffering in the difficulties. So your mind is joyful and happy. Then auto level this object not disturbing for them. So they can do used to that way direction too. So that's a Shantideva just giving information. So if like you go that direction, it become actually joy, happy is that. But us for our case is hard, not easy to go that direction, because we already too used to in this comfort. 88. Living as they choose, desireless, have no ties with anyone, even the powerful have difficulty finding a life as happy and certain as this. So then Shantideva said, that is the really freedom life. So you don't have also desires to object. Then you're not dependent for anyone. So you can be still like freedom and peacefully yourself. You have also satisfaction yourself, satisfy yourself. So that kind of life is even powerful God didn't have. So powerful God didn't have, then no questions, all these human beings, like millions of beings, no one has that kind of happiness. So then we go to verses 89. Having in such ways as this, thought about the excellence of solitude, I should completely pacify destroy conceptions, and meditate on the wakening mind. So this section is like then meditation, going into the meditation. So when we get in that kind of place, then what we have to do, so Shantideva said, we have to meditate. So this has like also introduction and more extensively explained. This first one is this 89 is introduction about the meditation. Short way. When we get in the solitary place, like just we talked already up there. So having in such a way as this thought about the excellence of solitude, then I should completely pacify distorted conceptions. So we have to pacify our thoughts and emotions. So that's the reason we stay in the solitary place. No any other reasons you have to go stay there. And meditate, then you can pacify you, how you can do destroy your conceptual thoughts, and remove all thoughts, emotions. Have to meditate on the waking mind. Then we have to meditate bodhicitta. Waking mind means we have to meditate bodhicitta. So now it's more explained. When we get in the solitary place, we have to meditate. So what we have to meditate? And we have to meditate is equanimity with other beings. Then we have to meditate like exchange, kind of a tongli meditation, take other beings in the self. Our is other, self is other is a self. So exchange. So have to go two different levels. So first one is like if you have to meditate, is equanimity, equality. So if without that meditation, not possible to exchange. First, we have to cultivate this equanimity. First of all, I should make an effort to meditate upon the equality between self and others. I should protect all beings as I do myself. So we have to protect others the same as us. Because we are all equal in wanting pleasure and not wanting pain. So main point, Shantideva, we have to meditate equanimity. And that is the first step. And we have to put effort and practice equanimity. The why we have to do that practice, because all sentient beings the same. Everyone wanting happiness, no one wants suffering. Same as us. So that's the reason we have to meditate equanimity. So you see, usually we have a different kind of prayers. These all prayers is based on this Shantideva's way of Bodhisattva. So we chant equanimity, talk about four immeasurables. That's also come from these teachings. So here is right now he's talking about immeasurable, equanimity, immeasurable, equanimity practice. So then we always talk about like all mother sentient beings want happiness, no one wants suffering. Where does that come from? Teaching it's here right now. You can see here. Wanting pain. Okay, so then we go to the 91. So we have to think about, logically think about this. Everyone, we have to protecting all other beings. We have to protect for other beings. The reason is, although there are many different parts and aspects, such as the hands, as a body that is to be protected, they are one. Likewise, all the different sentient beings in the pleasure and their pain have a wish to be happy that is the same as mine. So we think about, our own body. We have like heads, we have hands, we have legs, so many branches. So we have to protect all this whole body branches. You cannot say, oh, this finger I don't want to protect. You don't say, oh, I don't want to protect my hair. You didn't say, I don't want to protect my ears, right? You don't say, I don't want to protect my eye, something like, or it's like your body, whole thing is your body, but have so many part of pieces, branches, your body. Same like that. Likewise, all the different sentient beings in the pleasure and their pain. So this beings actually all is different. There, happiness, suffering is, that individual have a different, but we have to protect all these beings. The same as like we protecting our whole body. We don't bias, like you don't bias like your right hand and the left hand between, right? You don't bias your right eye and the left eye. So you have to economically protecting whole your this body. Same like that, we have to protecting all these different kind of beings. Likewise, all the different sentient beings in the pleasure and their pain have a wish to be happy. They all is the same because everyone wanted to be happy. That is the same as mine. So we also want happiness. These all sentient beings want happiness. The same wishing, same desire. So that's the reason we have to protect happiness for everyone's happiness. We have to protect all beings' happiness. So now we go to verses 92. The suffering that I experience does not cause any harm to others. So then this is also like, oh, I don't want to do this because the reason is so many beings, they have so many difficulty sufferings. Their suffering is their own suffering, not my suffering. My suffering, they didn't harm to others, other beings. So if I hold other beings suffering and problems, then it's so much sacrifice myself. So I really don't want that. So that if you think that, that is the just Shantideva said, many people, beings have this thought. So we share the love meditation, compassion meditations. Every people has this caution. Say, why we have to think about this other people suffering? If I think that, I just cannot, like really, how to say, the standing myself, or like I cannot really do that because I so feel bad and sad. I really get suffering. I don't want to do that. I don't lose my happy because I don't. If I cultivate others' suffering, I get stuck with these fears and suffering with others, the same as others. So that's why I don't want the suffering. If you say that, so then verses 93, likewise the misery of others does not harm me, but this other people's suffering is not really come to us. Nevertheless, by conceiving of other us, their suffering becomes mine. Therefore, it too should be hard to bear. So it's, other people's suffering is, not be far me, come to us. But if you meditate, this too is similar, the 92 and the 93. If you meditate, change, exchange, like, or, meditate economically, thinking about all beings have a happiness. Nevertheless, by conceive of other as I, so you think about other is the same as my, their suffering becomes mine. So then other people's suffering also become mine. Therefore, it too should be hard to bear. It's hard to bear that. It's difficulty. If you really, take others' suffering is mine, so it too should be hard to bear. This is really hard and difficulty. But it's really powerful. Shantideva said that is powerful practice. So we think we cannot, like here also the just says we cannot do that. The reasons others are suffering, my suffering is my suffering. How I can take others suffering? You know, how can I say, oh, others suffering is my suffering? We cannot do that, not possible that. But Shantideva said, if you, long as you practice and meditate bodhicitta, you meditate equanimity, you meditate, you know, exchange. Our self is other, other is a self. Become you are used to that, then you really, Shantideva said, you really fear. And others beings suffering also same is my own suffering. Shantideva said that is actually hard and the difficulty should be hard to bear. It's a difficulty. You can't do that, but it's a hard and a difficulty. So why we have to do that? Shantideva said, the verses 94, since I should despair the misery of others, because it is suffering just like my own. And I should benefit others because they are sentient beings just like myself. So I have to despair misery of other beings suffering. The reason is, it is that is a suffering. It's the same as my suffering, you know, just like my own suffering. When we have suffering, we don't want. So same like others suffering, also we don't want too. Same as my suffering. And I should benefit others. We have to benefit, help for others because they are sentient beings, just like myself. So why we have to benefit others? And we also, you know, because they are sentient beings, just like myself, like we also want benefit. Someone benefit us, we're happy. So same is like, same is us. So this right now is sharing the information is like we have to meditate equanimity. So why we have to, you know, take others suffering? Because it's a suffering, same as my suffering. So why we have to benefit others? Because so others is the same as me, you know, just like it's myself. That's why we have to benefit others. It's equanimity. Then when both myself and others are similar in the we wish to be happy, what is so special about me? Why do I strive for my happiness alone? It's a very powerful statement, this one. See, so others and myself both are so same desire in that wish to be happy, right? Then what is so special about me? Why is only I want happiness, not for others? Why do I strive for my happiness alone? Then why is I'm doing only myself happiness? Because we all wanting same thing together. So it's that bring equanimity. If you understand that, you know, meaning and cultivate these verses, and become we care about other beings the same as us. Verses 96, and when both myself and others are similar in that we do not wish to suffer, what is so special about me? So we both are want happiness. Why we are special only ourselves? Why do I protect myself and not others? So first one, like 95 is we are wishing same is happiness. Why only I want happiness? 96 is like we both don't want suffering. Then why are only I don't want suffering? Why we don't care about others? So similar, different ways. You know, one is like looking happiness same. Another one is like we don't want suffering. So same. Then 97. So this is like similar already up there. We just talked. But why should I protect them if their suffering does not cause me any harm? Then why why protect myself against future suffering? It is cause me no harm, no. So then this first is like say we say, oh, I don't want to protect others. If they have suffering, they don't really anything like get problem myself. So their suffering is their own suffering, not my suffering, not my problem. So we usually say, not my business, right? So I don't care about what happening others. I don't want to suffering myself. So that's the, if you say that, Shantideva say, then Shantideva, this is like, he give the, like debating and the answer. So then why protect myself against future suffering? It is causes me no harm, no. So then why you protecting yourself future? Future suffering is not right now you get suffering. So then the, because future suffering is not harm you right now, then why you thinking about future I'm going to get suffering? That's why I'm doing something, good things, protect myself. Why are you doing that? So we thinking about tomorrow, we thinking about next month, next year. That's why we just do so many things, right? For that reason. But that is not today. That then you don't have to do that, thinking about tomorrow, next month, next year, next life, something, because you're only thinking about the right now situation. Then why are you thinking about the future? You protect yourself, thinking about you are free from suffering. He asked questions, Shantideva question to the person. So then there's also the, debating following together. 98 is, it is a mistaken conception to think that I share experience the suffering of my next life. For it is nothing person who dies and nothing that will be reborn. So Shantideva said, if you doing protecting yourself future happiness, that's the reason you say, I don't care others suffering. Others suffering don't get harm suffering, like get problem myself. I don't care others suffering. I taking care of my happiness, future lives. So the main point Shantideva say, future suffering is not your suffering. Actually, if you go that way, it's future suffering is not your suffering. It is mistaken conception to think. Future suffering is your suffering. That is mistaken thinking. That I share experience, the suffering of my next life. So next life I'm going to get suffering. That you have that conceptual thoughts. That thought is mistaken, incorrect. For it is another person who dies and another that will be reborn. So when you die means like not right now what you are not dying. So its next life is a different person, not same person. Die person is a different person, rebirth is a different person. So now it's talking about emptiness. It just main point is, or is follow the interdependent. Nothing is a permanent there. So thinking about interdependence, then the future life we have to take care. The reason is future life is happy, that makes happy us. So then you take care others happy. That's also, dependent, because it's like create happiness for yourself too. So you say, I don't care others, that is not my problem. Then you have to say, oh, future life, I don't care future life, because that is not my life. Tomorrow is, I don't care tomorrow, because tomorrow is not my life. You have to say, oh, I don't care next month is who is that person is not me, because me is right now, I am here. That's it. Present, only present. If you follow the longer way, then you have to care about future life, you have to care about others. If you're only thinking about right now, then future is not yours, other also not yours. You are true, but that is not correct thinking. So that's the information. 99. Surely whenever there is a suffering, the suffering must protect themselves from it. But the suffering of the food is not that of the hand. Why then does it protect it? Surely, whenever there is a suffering, the suffering must protect himself from it. So if you think the own problem, own suffering, only they have to protect their own, you 100% only think that way, then your hand problem, you have to take care of your hand problem, hand take care, hand problem. Your leg problem, you have to take care your own leg problem. Why your hand going to massage, you give it to your leg? Because you have to take care of own problems, then you have to take care of own problem. If you have eye problem, you have to take care of your own eye problem. I take care eye problem. Yeah. So then why you try to do some other things like protecting your eye, protecting your ears, protecting your hands, protecting your legs, like different kind of using is incorrect. The suffering must protect themselves from it. But the suffering of the food is not that of the hand suffering, right? Why then does it protect it? Why you hand protect your food suffering? Why your hand protect your headache suffering? Why your hand protecting your, other body part of body problems, sufferings? So because it is others, different. There's this logic, So then verses 100. So this give you, reason why we have to protect ourselves and we have to protect for others. Although this may not be justified, it is done because of grasping at a self. But surely whatever is not justified for myself or others should at all costs be rejected. So although this may not be justified, actually you use logic investigating, and of course, like, you don't have to hand protect your feet because it's a different. Same thing, you don't have to protect for others. It's different. There is actually then no really self is exist in there. Self is not exist if you really investigating. That's the reason, although this may not be justified, not really correct way, is protect ourselves, protect other means. It is done because of grasping at self. The reason is that we have self grasping. So that's the reason we have to protect the self and protect others. Yeah, so long as you have self, you have suffering, and you have others. That's why we have to protect ourselves and protect others. But surely whatever is not justified for myself or others should at all costs be rejected. Actually, me and other both, we have to reject it because self is no exist, other is no exist reality. We have to free from that. So, but we actually don't have that kind of level practice. We already self, self hold other is mine. Long as you do that, you have suffering. That's why we have to protect self and protect others. It's a little bit harder, this part, if follow the logically, proving actually self is not exist. Long as you recognize self is not exist, then you don't have to protect yourself. But why you have to protect yourself? Why you have to protect others? Because you have self-hold ourselves. That's why we have to protecting us and others. Self is actually reality not exist. Self is a delusion. 101, such things as continuum and in aggregation are false in the same way as rosary and army. There's no real honor of suffering. Therefore, who has control over it? So you use investigate and think about. So we're talking about usually continuum. What is a continuum? Actually, it's actually so many seconds together. Like think about 1 hour, 60 minutes. Right? Continuum. Actually, not really 1 hour there because it's 60 minutes. 60 minutes is also, we think about 1 minute. It's not 1 minute. There's so many seconds in there. So no really exist there. Continue in the own aggregation. So it all comes together, also not really exist together, are false. In the same way as rosary and army. So we said mala. So mala beads is like 108. We put together, it's called mala. But actually, not really one mala, there is 108 beads. Then you take one bead, is no mala there. Mala is no exist. We don't call the one bead is mala. So you take each bead, where's mala? No mala there. So we are talking about 1 hour is all 60 minutes. You take each all these minutes is like no hour there. So actually no exist. Then there is no real honor of suffering. Actually, the same is like no really honor of suffering means no self is exist there. Self is not there. Who going to suffering? No one actually suffering. Self is not really exist there. Therefore, who has control over it? So who control really our self-suffering? You really investigate, self is not exist. No one control us. So all is delusion control us. Investigate, nothing is exist there. So that's the reason we have to protect ourselves and protect others because we have a delusion. So that is 102. Beings no inherent honor of suffering, there can be no distinction at all between that of myself and others. Thus, I shall despair it because it hurts. Why am I so certain that I shouldn't eliminate the suffering of others? So no being no inherent honor of suffering. Actually, no one exists. No one hold the suffering there. Honor of suffering. No one is honor of suffering. There can be no distinction at between that or myself and other. Actually, then you think, oh, myself and other is nothing different. It's all same. Thus, I should despair it because it hurts. Why then is no one honor of suffering there? And others and ourself is the same. So then why you have to despair suffering? Because the suffering hurt us and the suffering hurt others. So that's why we have to despair our suffering and others' suffering. Why am I also certain that I should eliminate the suffering of others? Why we don't think about other suffering is, eliminate it. Only I want to eliminate our suffering, not others. That is incorrect because it's reality suffering is no exist. No one has honor there, but delusionally suffering hurt us and suffering hurt others. Other and us actually both are same, no difference because both are not really exist there. Absolutely, the relatively, we have us and self there too. We hurt, suffering hurt us, suffering hurt others. That's the reason we have to eliminate our suffering and others' suffering relatively. Absolutely, no others exist, us no exist, suffering also no exist. Then also that's why we have to eliminate others' suffering. But this 103rd, since rather the suffering nor their suffering truly exist, why should I turn away the misery of all? This is no ground for argument. For if I prevent my own sufferings, surely I should prevent the suffering of all. If not, since I am just like other sentient beings, I should not prevent my own suffering either. So we know the suffering is truly no exist. Suffering no exist. So why should I turn away the misery of all? So then why you have to, so this is first two is like debating, someone say, if suffering is no exist, then why you don't want the suffering yourself and others? Or so then this is no ground for argument. So because it's relatively, for if I prevent my own suffering, surely I should prevent for others' suffering too, or of others' beings. If not, if I don't prevent my suffering, then since I am just like other sentient beings, then why I don't have to prevent others' suffering? Because the same as other beings, I'm just like other sentient beings. I should not prevent my own suffering either. So this is actually similar as we already talked, different aspect. And verses 104. But since this compassion will bring me much misery, why should I exert myself to develop it? Should I contemplate the suffering of living creatures? How could the misery of compassion be more? First two is like put the our thoughts is followed by caution. But since this compassion will bring me much misery, why should I exert myself to develop it? So that's usually we think that way. If you generate the compassion, others, then you have more responsible for others. You have more suffering. So that's the reason I say I don't want to do that. If I do generate compassion for others, then I recognize others' suffering. I have more responsible. I have become, stuck with others' suffering. Why we create my own suffering again and again? So we say, I have enough of my suffering. I don't want others' suffering, right? Usually we say that. So exactly, that. Shantideva says, if you think that way, if you think that, then should I contemplate the suffering of living creatures, how could the measure of compassion be more? So if you help them free from suffering others, so should I contemplate the suffering of living creatures? how could the measure of compassion be more? How can create more suffering? Because if you comes a strong compassion for others, you know creating suffering yourself. Actually, that's really help you free from suffering. But that is like, see, the difference is like practitioner and ordinary people thinking. Ordinary people think if we create, generate compassion for others, then we stuck with others' suffering. So we say we have enough our suffering. Why I want more suffering others? So that is ordinary people thinking. But Bodhisattvas, if you generate compassion, then for reason for others' suffering, you purify so much karma. And you really burning causes of suffering, purifying. That's the reason Shantideva's same following answer is like 105 verses. If by one person suffering, the suffering of many would be destroyed, surely kind-hearted people would accept it for the sake of themselves and others. So if you really, take others' suffering, if by one person suffering, if you can, example, take another being's suffering, the suffering of many would be destroyed. That remove many causes of suffering. That really removes our own suffering. So surely kind-hearted means Bodhisattvas, people would accept it. They accept that suffering. That suffering, actually, that suffering is destroy suffering. The one suffering, example, destroy 100 suffering. So that's the reason that Bodhisattvas accept that one suffering and destroy hundreds suffering, purify 100 different kinds of suffering. Accept it for the sake of themselves and others who want happiness or who want to benefit others. They accept that suffering. They don't think that is suffering. They think that suffering is powerful and destroy others' suffering under our own suffering. So it's followed by verses 106. Thus the Bodhisattva Supusha Chandra, although aware of the harm the king would cause him, accepted his own suffering in order to eradicate the misery of many. So this Bodhisattva, he practiced with many Bodhisattvas together in the kind of retreat, solitary, enjoy, peaceful, happy, and joy. So this Supisha Chandra, Bodhisattva Supisha Chandra, he has clairvoyance. So what he see, if he stay with other Bodhisattvas together and the group solitary, they're joy, happy there, but he didn't satisfy his happy and joy. So his clairvoyance see, if he go to the kingdom, there's kingdom, if he go there, he can millions people liberate. He can millions people, beings can liberate. But if he do that, he going to lose his life. So he has two choices: his own benefit, or he can take care others' happiness, benefit. So then this Bodhisattva, Supusha Chandra, he went to the city and the kingdom, and he taught the Dharma for them. And the next time he circumambulate and practice himself in the kingdom, and the circumambulate the stupa and there, and meditate in the next time. Whole day time he shared the Dharma teaching for them. So then the kings, like ministers, even the kings, Kun, right? Kun. Is I cannot make correctly pronunciation. That's the hardest always for me.
Queen.
Queen, yeah, Queen. Queen, they all come to receive teaching from him. So then millions of beings he liberating. So then the queen include all these many beings, no desire worldly, and the king really upset, and also he jealousy, strong jealousy to this Bodhisattva. So he put in the animal, no animal. He usually used the hunter's cloth, so he didn't look like king, but he put a hunter cloth because he preventing or like he himself looks like hunter. And then he went close to this Bodhisattva, cut the head. So Bodhisattva is passed away. So that's why although aware of the harm the king would cause him, the Bodhisattva, he knows the king going to kill him. He knows. Accepted his own suffering. He accepted that. In order to indicate the misery of many, he can liberate so many other beings. He take care that other beings. So then he can cut this Bodhisattva's heads and comes out, no blood comes out milk in his, the representative blood is come out. So king is wondering, so he think, wow, it's a very special person. So right away he recognized he did wrong. So he recognized he is influenced by jealousy. And he also did a confession. He created a stupa for the Bodhisattva's body. And so also the stupa benefit many other beings, because who pray and who go to do practicing in there. Also this Bodhisattva's aspiration is so strong, it's benefiting. So that's the aspiration. Bodhisattva has strong aspirations. Even the pathway, the aspirations still benefit. That's why stupas, statues, they benefit for others. The Buddhas never think, oh, this stupas benefit for others. They never think these statues benefit others. They have like strong aspirations. The aspirations remain. And that's why without thought, without thinking, it's benefit for others. So otherwise, see, oh, Buddha is already passed away. It's not possible to benefit, no, right? No, but still benefit us. See, we think about Buddha Shakyamuni, and it comes devotion, and we respect his statue, we respect his image, we respect his all the, the object, stupas that create like us like something special, conditions for us, and create connection, karmic imprints, and that is Buddha's benefiting. So without thoughts, Buddha's benefit for others. So this Bodhisattva, he passed away, but still the benefit for others. Still you hear these stories. Then see, Bodhisattvas not stuck their own benefit and suffering. They change their own happiness for others. So that's why Shantideva shared this story. If you don't have to think about, oh, I cannot do because I have enough of my suffering, why I'm going to take this suffering? So if you think that way, you stuck always in samsara. You're never going to change. You cannot liberate. So you take care of some others' suffering, you can use that suffering is millions of suffering is end. So you burn the millions of suffering is burn where? Purify one suffering. So bodhisattvas like change, exchange, do that way, benefit others. So I have to go to another couple verses. 107. So because it's go together, linked together. Thus, because he loved to pacify the pain of others, he whose mind is attuned in this way would enter even the deepest here, just as a white ghost plunges into a lotus pool. So Bodhisattva has already have that habitual to benefit others. That's because he love for pacify pain of others. That's one thing Bodhisattva wanting to do that. That's goal is that. Their goal is that. So he whose mind is attuned in this way, they're already habituated, attuned to that, I think. So means like used to that, habitual already that direction. Our habituate is self, our own benefit, our own protections. That's why very hard to think about others' benefit. This Bodhisattva is many lifetimes already used to that, taking care of other beings. So that's why they're not hard for them. Same is like wide in word, I say word enter even the deepest. See here, word enter even the deepest here. So this Bodhisattva is like going to lower her to benefit others. There no fear, though no scared, there no suffering. Same is just as a wide ghost plunges into a lotus pool. So this wide ghost plunge into lotus pool is they're happy to go into that pool. So Bodhisattvas like going into the hell realms for benefit others. The same is like that, because they're already habituate, used to that. So 108 is the same, similar. Where not there is ocean of joy that here exists when all beings are free, be sufficient for me. What am I doing wishing for my liberation alone? So this Bodhisattva have joy for benefit others. Will not be ocean of joy. So they have joy is the same as ocean. So even they liberate other beings. That share exists, then when all beings are free. So if they can benefit others, they have joy is the same as ocean. So be sufficient for me. What am I doing wishing for my liberation alone? So then they're just only benefit their own, is nothing for important for them. So their own benefit is no useful for them. It's the benefit others, that is joy for them. That is happy for joy for them. So what I'm doing wishing for my liberation alone. We go to 109. Therefore, although working for the benefit of others, I should not be conceited or consider myself wonderful. And because of the joy there is in solely doing this, I should have no hope for any ripening effect. So this Bodhisattva working for benefit others, there I should not be conceited or consider myself wonderful. They don't think about I'm doing something great. Same is like you do yourself something, you don't thinking about other people think I did great something. So same is like you do yourself something great, consider myself wonderful. And because of the joy there is in solely doing this, they're really happy to do that, benefit others, the joy. I should have no hope for any wrapping effect. They don't have an expectation something. You know, you help for others, you think, oh, I get some benefit. They don't have expectation helping for others. So that is the thing. Really, you read these sections, understanding what means Bodhisattva. So usually we talk about Bodhisattva, but what means Bodhisattva? So you read this section, contemplate these sections, then you understand what means Bodhisattva. So 110, so we're going to finish this, then leave it today. I think we can leave it there. It's the 109 finish there. So Bodhisattva, no any expectation to benefit others. Yeah. Okay, so finish it there today. Everyone okay? Understand?
Thanks, Khenpo. That's a lot to think about.
Lot to think about. What is the hardest one today?
And
Which
a
one is
lot
the
to,
hardest one?
I think.
Okay.
Mary.
You're muted, Michelle.
Michelle and Raoul, you're muted.
Yeah, 90.
Yeah, 98 and 99, those two verses for me were very difficult to comprehend.
90, which one? 90?
99
98
and
and
99.
99.
Oh. 99, huh? I see.
I think 98 needs the word not in the second sentence. If their suffering does not, I'm sorry. 98, that I shall not experience the suffering in my next life. If you put a not in there, it makes a little more sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mistaken conception to think that I shall experience the suffering of my next life.
It reads better if you say that I shall not experience.
That I shall experience the suffering of my next life.
Oh, I don't know. I think it.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so, because it says it's a mistake to think that you will, that somebody else is going to experience it, because that it's the same as you.
Don't put a note. Yes, exactly. Mary says. That's it.
That's what I mean, it's the same essence, you know, your essence is there. You're going to be the same one suffering, even though you're in a different body. It's still going to be your suffering. It's just a sort of a different relative you, right? Okay.
So that's a 90 and 99. It's logic. Just we have to take care of others, because like just even you think it's not me means like which way you know me, you know. If you don't take care of others, not me, then you don't have to take care of your hand to legs, right? That is logic. Okay.
I think for me it was 102 and 103 and that area in there where it talks about the I not existing. That have to think about that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's Shantideva, he used logic and then almost going into the absolute truth. So, sharing the like reality that truly you don't have a self. But we don't have that level, realization. That's why suffering, pain, us and others, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The four immeasurables, will that help to achieve some of the things Shantideva was saying today through the practice? There's one practice I do, you do your opening prayers, and then you say try to do a mala round of the four immeasurables, and then you do closing prayers. And you were talking about the four immeasurables. So I'm thinking that practice will help with the topics today.
Yes. For measurable, the topic is that today too, tomorrow. It's equanimity, practice equanimity. So tomorrow is more harder, it's called exchange, dongling.
So I will be able to see myself and others through the practice of the four immeasurables.
What do you say? Can you say again?
I will be able to see myself and others through the practice of the four immeasurables. I'm just asking if that could happen. Will that happen? Would that happen? Should that happen?
You can see yourself.
Myself and others. Like the barrier of subject object gets like weakened, and then I'm able to see myself and others. And I'm asking, will the four immeasurables help that?
Could be, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So we think about that. Yeah, so we do the dedication. So we go to answer question, then take long way. So dedication is better, I think. So this cannot see Marilyn, your screen shows. And okay. Okay, off. So this Marilyn, can you give authority to share the others? Like your computer didn't have, comes, goes, harder to read.
I think Khenpo, if you're the host, you can do it.
I didn't have this prayer.
Oh.
Also, Marilyn, when you took off your backdrop, then it worked okay. I don't know if you
but
that.
it comes, goes, Debbie.
Not if she takes her backdrop off.
Okay.
So, okay, then Roar and Amanda has, right? Can you share? So Marilyn, her computer has a, like something difficulty that, because it comes and goes, comes and goes.
Yes, can do it, Khenpo. Sorry.
No, who's doing?
I don't know.
Amanda, you doing, right? Okay. In the Emaho, in the center,
The center is marvelous Buddha, boundless light.
on the right side is the
Right
Lord,
side is Lord of great.
and on the left is Vajrapane, the Lord of powerful means, all are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness as the bliss for puring over Devachi. When I and all pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsara rebirth. May I have the bliss of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of blessing of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may attain this aspiration without hindrance. Tiyata Pinzandaya Awa Bodhanaya Soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent precious mind, where it is humble may arise, where it is born may not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue may achieve omniscience, by defeating all enemies' confusion. May all who traverse on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri the Vero realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantha, but I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teaching of the great Digompa Ranashiri, whose omniscient Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation, until the end of the samsara. Thank you.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good day.
See you
The
at 7.
teachings are auspicious.
Thank you.